15 minutes to spare before I start my shift, you know. Um, so I decided to do a stream basically taking DL Hughley to task for unequivocally flat out lying, where basically DL has retract his thoughts on Kamala Harris, when basically this is just common knowledge and this research can be easily did. But once again, you got dudes like DL Hughley, Joy Reid, quite a few people, Roly Poly Martin, trying to basically trying to manipulate, harass, shame black people, in particularly in supporting and voting for Kamala Harris, who is not black. And I'm a further prove that Kamala Harris isn't black. Now, everybody knows when Kamala Harris was a prosecutor and an attorney general. Kamala Harris is tied to a lot of questionable things, from evidence tampering to where at least 40 of her cases that she had some type of role in had to basically be possibly dismissed. She's tied to a lot of different things. And then she was basically saying she was Indian. You could tell that Kamala Harris has no ties to the black experience. So what? She went to a historical black college. So what? She was in a sorority. Once again, white people and other forms of non-blacks can go to a historical black college. Okay, so can we please stop the cap? That's another video. We'll talk about that later. Right now, I'm talking about this. We gonna stick to the subject matter. I will talk about that when I see that it's official. It's not like they're gonna let me in anyway. But nevertheless, Kamala Harris was not a progressive attorney general. She was just linked to a lot of different things, and Kamala Harris specialized in locking black people up. So DL Hughley, you are a liar. All this stuff can be researched about some of her most notorious, infamous cases. And then, even if she didn't personally trial the case, she was the overseer in some of those cases and signed off on some of those cases where people, like I said, look up what happened with Jamal Truelove. Look up what happened with the man that was on death row. Look how Kamala Harris kept people past their release dates or refused to let people out of jail basically on technicalities, fought to keep people in jail. Kamala Harris does not have any ties to the black community, and that's why it pisses me off that you got people parading her around like she's some black woman. You could tell she isn't comfortable even saying that she's black. She's been groomed to pretend to be black. I keep telling you, she's no different from Rachel Dolezal and Shaun King, and that's just fact. So let's just keep it a buck. But to sit up there and see DL Hughley lying and trying to insult black people's intelligence, but that's what they all do. How the hell you gonna sit up there and say that your blackness is in question if you don't support Kamala Harris? Well, her blackness is in question. Period. All this stuff about Kamala Harris can be researched, even though they tried to sweep it off the internet. You still can find some of her stuff. In 2010, 40 of her cases that she oversaw was in question about tampering with evidence. She refused to prosecute cops that was in San Francisco that was tied to corruption, police brutality. She didn't want to do anything. Okay? Well, if you can find a copy, LB, if you can find a copy of Kamala Harris' birth certificate, send it to me. because I'm pulling out the receipts. I'm so tired of people sitting up here trying to insult black people's intelligence. But this is what Malcolm X was talking about when he said you don't put your stock into any celebrities. I've said this several times, that when you are a celebrity, you know who are the masses are and who controls everything. You can only be so black or pro-black, militant, hotep, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, you still gonna have somebody white pulling your strings, or somebody white and gay pulling your strings, because they control the entertainment industry, whether you like it or not. And it just needs to be said. Oh, 600 cases were over. So once again, so that's what I'm saying. But from my knowledge, the article said 40. So DL Hughley sits up and tells a bold-faced lie. Same thing with Joy Reid. This goes to show you that the dummies, what I've been saying, are frauds, and they're just they just as bigger liars as the Republicans. At least the Republicans, to a certain degree, don't even try to play these games. And you need to listen to what Joe Brown said when he was on Kwame Brown's show. He completely exposed the history of the Democrats. Keep in mind, the dummies are the ones that founded the KKK. So how the hell they're for black people? Y'all do know what the KKK is, right? A hate group. Well, Jonathan Jackson, what he tried to do is, because he's some celebrity, we supposed to just be like, oh, okay. He act like we the only ones that he act like don't nobody got a computer, or that nobody don't got a smartphone and they can do their own research. Nigga, please. All this stuff is public information. You can look up about Kamala Harris. So now the new cap is, now that it's starting to get exposed more and more that she isn't black, now the new cap is, well, what does that have to do with anything? A lot. Have y'all looked at what has went on the last 4 years? If Kamala Harris by some miracle gets elected president in California, you're gonna be paying $8 for gas. You're gonna be paying $10 for a Big Mac, and that's just a sandwich. You can barely afford to eat now. Once again, how did the 99-cent store go from the dollar and some change, $2 and some change store? How did the Dollar Tree go from, well, $5 for ice cream? All this has been under Joe Biden. But I get so tired of these people continuing to insult our intelligence and try to lie to black people. So for DL Hughley to sit up there and tell a bull, you are a liar, DL Hughley. First of all, if you can find that episode, they may have took it off. They may have took it off all streaming services. But go look at American Gangster, about the brothers that was out of the Bay Area that was like doing all those jewelry store heists. Kamala Harris was on there. Kamala Harris is on video talking about how she was going to send the police to your house if you didn't send your kids to school. She was celebrating that stuff. She celebrated locking black people up. And particularly, and then you got these dumbass black women. Yeah, I said it. Basically harassing and trying to bully black men into supporting her. And then here's the thing. Look who she's married to. I'm going to say this again. She's not black. Look who she married to. The only black Kamala Harris got up in her was the black dick she was taking on her come up to get promoted, to get advancements. Yeah, Willie Brown, maybe Montel Williams, and some other handful of Negroes. That's about it. Yeah, I said it. That's about the only black she got up in her. Yeah, she had Black D up in her. to advance. But as far as her lineage, her DNA, she's not black. She's not black. And that's just real talk. And people are tired of this. People are tired of being manipulated. The dimmer dummies got a history of not doing anything for us. So that's just basically it. You just got to keep it a buck. You just got to keep it 100. We're tired of playing these games. We're not going to play these games. But I just cannot see how DL Hughley can sit up here with a straight face and try to sit up here and insult our intelligence and try to lie to us and say that Kamala Harris didn't do what everybody knows that she did. Kamala Harris was locking your ass up, in particularly if you were black. Now, there's a couple of white dudes that she screwed over. But most of the people that she screwed over were black men and black women. And y'all got the audacity to sit up there and try to shame us into supporting her. And then y'all trying to question a black man such as myself, blackness, if we don't support. First of all, both my parents are black. Kamala Harris is Hindu and white. She is not black. And then another thing I think Kamala Harris is doing is Kamala Harris is calling people, begging people to stop putting out her history as a attorney general and a prosecutor. Just like she sat up there and she called Jamal True Love, and basically who knows what she said to that dude. At this point, I don't give two damns about black women being mad at black men. Any black woman that's mad at a black man for not supporting Kamala Harris, I'll say that you can kiss my black ass. Well, if you guys got all these receipts, send it to me. I'm not ignoring none of this stuff. I've been trying to warn y'all about Kamala Harris, just like everybody's getting mad at Swali for basically saying do your research on her. She's saying that she's on record saying she's not going to do nothing for black people. But she showed and gave everybody else money. But anyway, you guys, appreciate you. Got to get to work. We'll talk about this later.